Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ETF2L Season 37 Premiership Week 1 Kritzberg for Defense versus Feint Gaming. My name is Wandum. I'm currently just reading off the stream. I'm here with Beta on production, as well as Bumfreeze is my co-caster who's going to try to save me because there are some names here that we don't normally see.
Yeah, we've got the Polish team back up to Prem, Kritzberg for defense. All these players have been in Prem, I think, once or twice before, but some of them are absolutely eons ago. So we've got a few more unfamiliar names. Bevan would be one of those, but we've got news that he is being subbed out for tonight. So, yeah, what do you think of Kritzberg for defense, Wandum? How do you expecting them to be this season?
I think that normally you would look at a team like this and you'd go, these guys aren't winning many games. But unfortunately, this season, I think there are 4 teams where if you look at them in isolation, you'd be like, these guys aren't winning any games. So they'll probably, I think the bottom of Prem this season is actually fairly interesting. Even though you could probably, a cynical person will look at it and go, oh, there's 2 teams in Prem. Which, I mean, let's just skip that part. I just focus on the fact that it's going to be interesting between all the teams. I don't think that they have a chance against their opponent, Feint Gaming EU, also known as the Mac team, with, of course, Mac on demo, Vanny returning, a little bit of an older name, on Medic Opti, Hugo on Soldier, and Voxy and Yeehor on Scouts. And I'm looking at that Soldier combo, or that Scout combo rather, and I'm getting pretty giddy. It's spicy.
Yeah, and Mac will be looking for revenge on Stan after just losing out on Highlander last week.
Yeah.
He'll be disappointed with that, wanting to reclaim his position as the alpha demo man on the server.
Yeah. Is Stan on demo? Oh, yeah. Sorry. He's been playing Soldier for a couple of seasons on the compound. That's why in my head, especially because the last season frag video, he hit one of those where he just kind of shot a rocket through the universe and it's collided with the enemy. It was really cool. But I think I guess we should talk about a little bit of the changes coming up in this season as well. There have been some, we're pretty much getting the closest to a TF2 patch we're probably ever going to get at this point. Some funny plugins coming in.
Yeah, so soldiers from now on will not take any extra damage if they hit an enemy with their rockets. So if they jump directly into someone's face and direct them, they're going to be taking about 20 damage rather than the usual 80 whatever. And of course, the medic speed change, the controversial extra speed the medic gains when healing a scout has been removed, so he can't hold S to get out of those fights anymore, but also can't bait people out in team pushes and, generally keep up with his team as easily as before. So there's still some debate going on about whether or not this is better, but it's being thrown into a season for the first time to just give it the proper amount of testing that it needs. And I guess we'll see what the teams think of it by the end of the season. But yeah, definitely going to force teams to play a little bit differently at least.
Yeah, I think in a weird way, it can slow the game up a little bit, especially when we're looking at the first map tonight, which is going to be Process. It can be a little bit of a slower map, and one of the reasons why is that holding second on Process is really, really easy, and it's hard as a soldier to get in and get a sack, and actually get in and kill a medic if Ubers are even. It should, in theory, be a little bit easier now that, A, you don't take damage to yourself when you shoot other people in the face, and you also just, like, the medic has less movement speed, so in theory he has less mobility. You can still be a little bit skeptical because I think probably the more important problem is the way the scattergun just completely destroys a bomb. But, like, in a way, that also just makes it so that medics just have to play, like, a little bit more passively. You can't be as aggressive anymore because your medic can't run as fast. So if you win a mid, it's a little bit harder to actually roll through and actually get a victory really quickly, which we did see prior, where you could just win a mid fight, kill the entire enemy team, and you could be on last and win a round in, like, a minute. So,
all right, let's get a quick prediction out of you, Wandum. We're just about to go live. Who do you think's taking this first map?
I think Feint's going to take it 5-0, because I think Feint just has a lot more experienced Prem players. They're all just, I think they're just a different caliber of teams. Kritzberg really have to sort of show me that they can actually compete with the big boys. And it looks like immediately there is a mid-fight going on, Bum.
Yeah, Mac moving close towards the right side, trying to spam Stan off his pack. The first bomb's coming in now from Bonkers and Wanju right up into the sky.
And he's dead.
Yeah, Vanny goes down, but 3 of Kritzberg's own players fall for it. Hugo tries to bomb forwards, goes straight into the sticky of Stan, as Opti and Yeehor both chase him second. They're desperately trying to get Grabber here, but nothing being found. Paparazzi getting a swift 2k there, and Mac has to jump out as the lone survivor now, getting chased down with this electric pistol, but does manage to make it all the way out.
Yeah, that was a funky fight. So actually ends up with Kritzberg kind of being in a little bit, not even a little bit, like a really big Ubercharge advantage. They killed players on the enemy team so late. You can see Yeehor is actually on the engineer. There are just some sticky traps on second. Feint really know that they can't fight this, but getting a force here would be really nice for them. They actually do get it. That's a lovely sort of spam angle coming out of both soldiers. Ubers are popped out. It's going to be Bonkers going down, actually, to a trap from Mac. So it looks like with Grabber falling down to 50 HP, Stan not quite being able to find damage. Opti has even found a kill onto the medic, and that means that the push out of Kritzberg has been an absolute, complete disaster. Opti right now posturing along with his medic. They're trying to go in here.
Yeah, they have second for free. There's only Stan hiding with a trap up in PC, but Grabber there just stood still in lobby trying to give his player an arrow, and Opti just lines that easy direct up on the AFK player and takes down that medic for the full advantage here. Now Mac bombing in, locking off the forward spawn door. There's no one inside hiding for a cheeky play, and that's all of the poles just getting out there. So it's going to be a free mid for Feint. They still have this 80% advantage. They're going to try and take it through the choke by the looks of it. Mac just posturing, getting ready to go. Hugo and Voxy, in fact, going to be the ones taking this through on the flank.
Yes,
PC
right now
top here.
They are walking through PC. Hugo taking a little bit of damage early on. There is a soldier just standing right next to it, but I think that actually means that Bonkers just gets caught out. Huge bomb rollout from Opti. Gets Stan. Another kill onto Solar, who is also called Wanzu. That's not confusing at all. Hugo does actually get taken down. Rad down to Mac as well. It's only 2 alive. Sam and his medic in Grabber. Sam gets taken down. Mac, nice little pipe. And that's a first round win for Feint. It's a little bit of a slow start, but they managed to pick it back up, capitalize off a failed last push, and they just take it all the way.
Yeah, people are saying that you can't capitalize as much with the slow medics anymore. That's just not true, is it? You get last to last there on the first round. Yeah, and Feint take that first one with a cheeky little pickaxe kill from Opti included.
So right now, onto the second bin, actually. Stan eats a little bit of early damage out of Mac, as he actually just gets taken down by a bomb from Opti. Grabber does find the return kill, but with no demo, Rad is just called out of the blue. There's just no one to help him. Wanzu tries to do something. Bunker's gone down as well. And Grabber's actually so low. He's been spammed very heavily by Mac here. Bomb comes forward out of Hugo. They do find a kill onto Grabber. He's down so late. There's 3 players up on Kritzberg right now. None of them on classes you really want. Stan is on Sniper.
Well, the mid cap is just starting now. So they're going to have some time to at least get Grabber to spawn, but he's on such a late death. We also have a spy here, peeking around Vanny, just behind the point on second. No one is really going to see this spy. Yeehor just now moves off the rollout.
Yeah, this is a little bit hard for Rad, actually. He has to find some sort of angle. He actually almost just walks into people, but it looks like he's just been too late. He bumps a player before the Uber, or after the Uber's actually popped. So now the sentry's taken down. He's down as well. Opti does get return killed, but look at the pressure on the point right now. Stickies are dead, and Mac is actually just caught out alone. There's a scout on the point. Stan's completely out of this. There's no one else to help him. All of the players on Kritzberg are so low, and that ultimately results in Mac just pressing W onto the point. That's another round for Feint Gaming. So far, it's 2 fairly quick, dominant rounds early on.
Yeah, Voxy just clutched up on the point there. Quick 2-shot on the scout that came to defend it, and then taking down another player with the pistol while Mac was in a bit too deep and alone, as you said. But yeah, Feint are looking quite dominant so far. See if they can take this third mid, as the Kritzberg team do just decide to roll over towards the enemy pack, take this PC side. Both teams mirroring each other. First bomb in out of Bonkers here. Wandum comes to follow up, and they get Mac immediately.
Yeah, so they actually managed to find 3 kills here. Look at Vanny, he's caught out alone. There is a scout with him, but Sam just gives him a nice little one-tap. He's dead. They can't even find Vanny. Where is he? Oh, there he is. He's walking out. He's trying to get into lower lobby as Sam is chasing him. He has 50 HP. This is actually fairly dangerous as Vanny gets the pack. Vanny could actually do this, but never mind. He's just going to miss like 4 hours in a row. Doesn't matter. Sam does get that kill. Voxy already on the engineer. They're just going to spawn on last. That's a pretty nice mid out of Kritzberg.
Yeah, once again, a very late med death, as we were talking about before. So Yeehaw up on heavy, not his favorite class, especially against medics. And Grabber is still alive on the other team, so could be dangerous. They have the full advantage as well, of course. Kritzberg going to roll out into lobby here.
Yes, they're going to have to... They're going to want to pop the Uber a little bit later. Obviously, they're going to get forced in PC this time, but they are still trying to... They're being really careful here, trying to scope out what's available for the enemy team. They do spot that sentry gun, and it looks like that's going to prompt them to slowly push. They're actually spending a lot of time here. The Uber's finally popped in. That sentry gun is taken down immediately, but it did deny the bomb out of Stan here. Nice little rocket actually coming out of one soldier here. On to the scout as Opti is taken down, but so are Stam and Stam as well. That's a tongue twister and a half, and I'm not appreciating it. Wandum is on heavy, and it didn't work.
Yeah, not ideal. There was a really clutch arrow out of Vanny actually to save Opti's life, which changed the outcome of a pretty pivotal 1v1 on the right-hand side, and just really made it difficult for them to get any more ground on that last there, especially with a heavy. You're so slow to take ground on last, you're just supporting fire. And now Feint rolling it into mid. They only have a 30% advantage left at the moment, but they look to get this mid with it, and then things are going to even up for seconds. They're at a 2-round advantage, so they can't be too displeased with it. In fact, they're just going to use this ad. It's only 3%, and of course Grabber gets it in time. So now Opti caught out, but will win his 1v1 against Sam. Hugo also still in. Will manage to bomb back, and in fact...
There's a Stan? He's in. His Stan's just waving a sign. Okay, never mind. Everyone in Kritzberg is going down. They try to go in for the medic here. Just didn't really get it. Bunker's still alive. So is Wandum. They're gonna have to go for some funny things onto Vanny right now if they want to keep this round alive.
Yeah, they don't know what Bonkers is in PC, so his best bet here is to just try and get onto the medic when he deems the time is right. He's just hiding out in there. Voxy actually rolling out through PC to check it now, so he's been called out, and he will get taken down. That Uber exchange was very interesting because Kritzberg decided to try and push forward knowing that they used it second, but then in fact just... Feint managed to hold S just enough to pretty much lay a trap, and Kritzberg walked right into it now. Both soldiers trying to spam out this sentry gun on the right-hand side, but they are just going to slow down and get this Uber. They have the 50% ad they're going to use instead. Max straight in, sentry gun down immediately. Voxy clearing the stickies on the point, but there's not many kills so far. Only one Zoo has fallen. And now we see Kritzberg trying to re-aggress out of this corner. Rad's going to fall on the heavy, and everyone is just so clumped up. The scout can cap this easily, and Feint take the 3-0.
Yeah, Mac hit a really nice pipe onto the soldier, and the scout just kind of posturing up above the point. There's a tiny little ledge. Mac just threw a pipe up, did like 200 damage single pipe. They couldn't hold high ground, and they just pushed forward off that. That was really nice out of Feint. So you hate to see it if you're Kritzberg at this point. You're going to want to try something different. 3 rounds in 10 minutes, not exactly ideal. This time around, the soldiers are just going to exchange a little bit spam early on. Opti and Bonkers both opting for faster rollouts, as spam just being exchanged right now. And neither team really willing to bomb in immediately. It looks like Hugo is trying to go for something right now. Just bombs the high ground along with Opti. Kritzberg they are on the low ground, but nothing's really happening. There we go. Yeehaw and Bonkers do trade up, as Hugo's in, gets one rocket onto Grabber, but he just surfs that right out. Vanny taken down in the meantime. Stan and Sam as well, combining for some cleanup frags. That's a scout running around. But he's taken down by Grabber. Opti? He's gonna pickaxe the air. Unfortunate.
Yeah, not an ideal mid from Feint. Opti ended up behind, not really able to do much, and in the meantime, Wanju just sinked 2 rockets into Vanny, insta-killing him. And on the other side of the map, Yeehaw was just feeding in, trying to take a 1v1. He did trade, but it was not the ideal thing to be doing. He just pretty much gave up his life for free, and from there, the fight did not quite work out. Everyone was so separated on Feint's side. Now, 50% advantage for Kritzberg. We'll see if they can convert a last push. Going to be Stan and Wanzu and Rad in the lobby here. Using in lobby left, bombing straight forwards into the heavy. Stan gets piped down very low by Mac there and clears the stickies off the point, but the sentry isn't down. Now everyone just re-accumulating health. The Uber does eventually come out from Vanny, taking it onto Mac, but Feint are losing players on the backside of this Uber. There could be a repush now here, and it looks like there will as Kritzberg trying to come back in through the 4 and 5 doors. Sam going to be the first fatality to Mac, but they can just play the point so easily. There's no sticks on it. Kritzberg take their first round.
Yeah, that was a really weird last push. They kind of flubbed it immediately because they didn't really manage to take the space that they wanted. They come back around. The Uber comes out of Vanny to kind of try to save people, but ultimately they lost both their soldiers. So Kritzberg managed to get right back in there, get the rest of the kills. They managed to get on the point. That's a round on the board. And despite it feeling dominant very early on, there's still 18 minutes left. So they can very much come back into this should they please. Or should they play good. I think it's not a matter of whether they want to or not. It's whether they can.
Yeah, absolutely. But seems like Bonkers and Wanzu are going to be the first ones to bomb again. Bonkers gets completely denied. Opti landing straight on Grabber's head will not get anything much in return, but all of the high ground is Feint's. All of the space is theirs. Although Sam does find himself 2 low players to immediately clean up. Now it's a 3v2. Sam going to take this 1v1 with Yeehaw on mid. And it looks like he's winning it out so far, but Hugo in behind needs to get onto Grabber here. Oh, the air shot from Hugo will clutch this mid fight. They will lose the mid, but that is perfect for them. They're going to have the advantage to reclaim it thanks to Hugo.
That was such a nice play. It looked so bad because like they weren't, the 2 of them that were up, Yeehaw and Hugo, they just weren't really synced at all. You'd expect them to go for some kind of sync play, but luckily for them, Hugo just runs in, he just out DMs the opponent, hits a nice little shot onto Grabber, equalizes everything. He doesn't even equalize it, actually, he gives his team a massive advantage. Vanny goes down so early on in the middle, but I don't think it matters. They're going to walk forwards here. Vanny doesn't even have yet, he's 95, but with Bonkers already going down, Kritzberg can't stay in this at all. They're going to want to go into secondary immediately, Feint. They could probably even take this. Ubers actually pop forwards. I don't know if you need to do that.
Yeah, well, they decided to use it. They probably would have been forced had they not anyway, because Wanzu was hiding around in sewer and they had 2 players left on middle. They couldn't really be affording to turn around for that player without getting forced. So eventually they do use, and now Grabber has a 40% advantage, but it doesn't really mean much on process last. As you can see, they've already got the sentry gun up. It's quite difficult to push out of this last on advantage alone, especially when they have Wanzu down. He's only just come up on the respawn. But it looks like they're going to try it anyway. Coming out of lobby lower here, they will pop onto Stan and Rad, bombing straight forwards. They haven't got any kills with it. In fact, Feint are just going to last. They've put 3 men into lobby. Hugo bombing in onto last will meet the sentry gun, which will be his demise in the end. And it's 4 down for Feint. That wrap play was not the correct call in the moment. It was a nice try, but that sentry gun on last shot everything down, and Kritzberg get that second for free.
Yeah, that's an Uncle Dane moment right there. As you push in, you're like so excited. They're like, oh, they forgot to go last, and then there's a big gun that has an aimbot, just kind of kills all of you. It's really unfortunate actually, but very nice for Kritzberg. They are at an Uber disadvantage here, about 50%. Have to be a little bit careful here. Feint are trying to go forward here. The Uber's actually popped out of PC. Mac flies in so far, but it's a little bit too far forward. Gets picked out of the air by Wanzu and Rad. So with the demo down, that push is completely shut down by Kritzberg. They don't have the Uber quite yet, but it looks like with that demo pick, they want to go forward. Soldier is bombing through. Bonk is taken down, however, by Yeehor. Yeehor has high ground. He plays DM. He's on this mid-fight more than you've, like, spent studying at school. Okay? Like, he's just here. As the rest of Kritzberg, they come in. They clean up everyone else. Yeehor actually dead as well. 2 soldiers down. They didn't even pop the Uber on mid. And they don't even have to pop it here on second. They can actually do it when they push into last here.
Yeah, and they're going to move into last without capping second. In fact, they really want to go fast while 3 are still down. Max gets 2 shot out of position. Vanny very low in spawn. They're just spawn camping here. Still ×2 on the second cap as the off-classes move out the right-hand spawn. They finally use this on point here. Hugo and Opti bomb into block. It's not enough as Kritzberg start the comeback here. 3-2 with 15 minutes left.
Yeah, so now this is very much a game for either side. Momentum pretty heavily in Kritzberg's favor. They've been coming out pretty consistently ahead on the mid-fights. And Fate just, like, they haven't been able to keep Vanny alive. With Vanny dying so early, feels like Kritzberg just have the HP advantage. They're capitalizing off of it. They were struggling a little bit earlier on to capitalize off of the advantages that they were getting, but now feels like Fate just gonna have to step up a little bit. Maybe not make as many missteps as they have done so far. As this time around, you can see both teams are like hugging the walls. They don't want to go forwards.
Hugo with that first look fake bomb. Wanzu takes that opportunity to go forwards. And Yeehor is actually all the way in on the enemy side. He's straight onto Grabber. They will get that kill. And now they just need to back out here. They need to do what Kritzberg did to them on the first round. Just recoup with their medic and try and retake the mid once everyone's back. But Rad is already behind, and then there's 2 bombs from ahead. Vanny gets forced out by Bonkers and Stan there. And Rad is still just trying to cause mayhem in the backlines. Hugo will pick him up, though.
Yeah, so they get the Uber Force, but they trade 3 kills. One of them being the Demo Man means they probably can't really stay on mid. You see, they Fate are being pretty paranoid about whether or not somebody's hiding, which is obviously something you want to check. Grabber is building, but the Ubers are pretty much even right now. They want to go forwards off of player advantage that they no longer have. Hugo takes some early damage as he tries to go in. Just unfortunately ends up eating a couple spam rockets, gets taken out. Actually, no, never mind. That is Bonkers. Going down, tries to go for something in return. Doesn't quite get it. Sam dies to a trap out of Max. Suddenly, Kritzberg are 2 up. Their second soldier's 60 HP, and they are just nowhere to be found on second anymore.
Yeah, Yeehor and Opti got that 1 kill on the flank. Yeehor got into lobby there and just started threatening the backlines, and then from there, Kritzberg were just pretty much left from fear, I think. And now we have this even Uber scenario on last. Feint looking to try and take another round here. They actually just start walking straight in, and Opti gets the force. That's perfect for them. Bonkers, though, with the counter force in lobby here. Mac and Voxy now need to try and roll this one forwards, but it's a 5v4 against them. Some nice arrows from Vanny actually keeps them alive in lobby, and now they can escape with their lives. They don't want to keep this push going, though. They know it's a lost cause. They are going to wait for these players to roll out and respawn.
So the thing with that is that they sacked in 2, which initially is good because they managed to get out the force, but then they also kind of got forced themselves. Meant that they had to push in with a player's disadvantage to try to make something of the Uber. They weren't able to find anything. They ultimately just ended up kind of sacking a few more players for nothing. So that means now that the Ubers are effectively even. It's about a 5-10% add for Vanny. And there is a sniper on the blue team. Sentry gun being built as well. So now, this is the time bump freeze. If we're ever going to test out the plugins and their ability to delete stalemates from the game, it's now.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not now. Process last. I mean, that sentry is still up, causing it to be very difficult to get in, but Rad is the first casualty there, going down to the rockets, and Opti actually gets spammed out in return from Wanzu. Hugo sacks in after hearing Sam pick up the sentry gun, but it's already redeployed, so he just goes straight into a level 3 and instantly dies.
Yeah, that's how TF2 works. It's you turn a corner and there's just randomly a level 3 sentry and you feel bad. And so does Bonkers right now because he just accidentally landed on all of Mac's stickies at once. Fortunately, somebody else, a funny man, had shot them everywhere, so he only took 150 damage. Normally, he should die there, but he managed to just bounce right out to the safety of his teammates. It's a beautiful experience. It's now Rad. He's gonna try a different off class because the last time Hugo just kind of killed him, so he's gonna play the spy instead.
Yeah, his second spy attempt of the game.
Oh, never mind. It's Wandum.
Wandum.
We still have a spy. But they were just checking for off
Give me
classes,
spy.
I guess.
I'm better at spy than you. Give me spy. So Wandum now, seeing if he can do any better than Rad's attempt from earlier. Just hiding out around the 4 door at the moment, gets into lobby.
Oh no!
And he doesn't do any better.
No! Yeah, Vanny was arrowing his like soldier or something, and then Wandum just stood in the arrow and took it, and he died. That is not what you want to see. As Yeehaw did actually go down in the meantime. I guess he was just sacking, but that's just one of those
Who's
one of those
next?
moments.
I want to see Stan spy. Stan, on the other hand, actually is caught out in lobby here versus Opti, but Opti does not manage to get the kill. Goes down very low himself, but gets that pack and escape plans out of there.
Yeehaw responding with a sniper of his own. You have to remember that Fate is still a round up, and with 9 minutes left, this is more of a factor than it used to be. You could definitely drag out a process loss stalemate for a while. And so sort of being able to drag this out as long as possible with these off classes makes it really good. Yeehaw is getting a little bit aggressive. He tries to peek a medic. He actually gets an angle on to grab it. Doesn't quite find it. Opti jumps in the meantime. Tries to see if he can find anything. That demo man was standing still, but Yeehaw decided to show mercy and save him the indignity of getting shot while standing still.
Well, I believe if they do just try and stalemate here, we'll see another mid-fight before the game ends. And I mean, Feint haven't been too much better on the mid-fights. They've been very even so far. So, I mean, if they do try and just time this one out, we could still see a comeback from Kritzberg. So I think ideally Feint are gonna have to take a round here if they just want to be safe. Opti feeding into rollout.
Soldier
getting taken down. Bonkers on the counter stack, going very fast in onto Vanny. Hits that first rocket, but it's an easy surf onto the pack for Vanny, staying alive, keeping his Uber intact.
So right now, they get a single kill on this Feint side onto the enemy soldier. They're trying to peek into the lobby, but that demo man, Stan, just vomits stickies everywhere and you can't walk at him. It's the classic sort of dichotomy of TF2 where you want to go somewhere. And then there's a demo man and he says, no, don't. So right now, Yeehaw's actually managed to get himself into the lobby. He's trying to kill the soldier. He does get it, finally. Second time he spots somebody standing still. Hand off keyboard. He actually manages to kill them, which is an upgrade, definitely. Second soldier, Bonkers, actually ends up eating a body shot here. He has to get out. Maybe that was even a headshot. I don't think that shot would have done as much damage had it been a body shot. As Yeehaw goes a funny little angle, almost gets that angle onto Grabber, as Bonkers does get the kill in return, trades out for Opti, but in a situation like that, where Vanny is just going to eat pipes, maybe that's okay.
Yeah, Vanny getting forced out of lobby. Wandum taking the space and actually catches Opti off, being a bit slow to retreat, so one soldier pick. We should see the counter-sack. Kritzberg have been pretty consistent with counter-sacking. In fact, they want to try and Uber out here on just a one-player advantage when Vanny still has the Uber. Vanny will use it off. Wandum's failing to get a killing choke right now. He'll go down, and the Ubers have now worn off for both teams. So, yeah, 5v6. Both teams have lost their Uber. Feint are going to want to speed things up here, see if they can get anything else with this one-kill advantage, but I doubt they will.
Yeah, so the thing is, it is technically a player advantage, but Ihaw's on Sniper, and he was able to get a nice headshot onto Stan, but it wasn't enough to get the kill, which means that, like, yes, technically it was a player ad, but they still just had a Sniper. Luckily, however, Rad goes Sniper, tries to get something on a Yeehaw. Yeehaw says, no, I click on you, now you're dead. So the sentry gun taken down as well. Looks like Feint wanting to get aggressive here. That honestly felt a little bit like a tilt play coming out Kritzberg. They feel like they have to do something.
In.
Oh.
He doesn't manage to get the rocket. Very unfortunate. It looked like it could have been an easy one, actually, as Grabber flubbed the surf for a second, but Opti doesn't manage to connect that second rocket. They just immediately took that sentry going down as an opportunity to sack, which is wise of them, but did not work out in the end. Go ahead, carry on with what you were saying, sorry.
I don't remember. I'm going to be honest. I was talking about... Oh, yeah, because Kritzberg, right now, they tried to push, and, like... yes, technically they might as well, kind of, but it feels like it's a little bit early in the game to actually sort of go ahead and sort of go for those more desperation pushes where you don't really have that big of an advantage. Maybe feels like a little bit of a tilt push, I guess, where they feel like they have to go in. We do have a pause.
This is definitely a tactical pause after Feint get coast to coasted and go on tilt when it's 3-3.
Mac is screaming right now. He is so angry. Richard Putis just laying down the law right now as we speak. Oh, never mind. Unpause.
Nice little short pause. Thank God for that.
Their discussion was, are we going to mid? And Max says, yes. And then that's it. So we are unpaused again. Wandum gonna try the spy one more time. Hopefully he doesn't accidentally standard spam this time. As I haven't rejoined the game right now. I'm hoping Bumfrey seizes the moment.
Yeah, I can seize the moment.
to make his animations
in one
look
here,
good again.
They're making some space for him. Mac trying to just spam people away so Yeehaw can get the angle. He's actually seeing straight in onto last, but doesn't see any players presenting their heads. In the meantime, Hugo and Opti have both gone down. They've traded for a spy, in fact, so Stan is going to take this solo Uber where he doesn't jump forwards at all and just holds W with the Iron Bomber. It works out, though, apparently, so...
Does it work out? I feel like they just gave Feint 100% ad for a sniper kill, which, like, they all managed to leave. That Iron Bomber didn't do that much. It took him, like, 5 pipes to kill Yeehaw. Now this Uber is just going to come out of Voxy. It's a solo Uber onto a scout, and it does so much damage, but they only managed to find Wandum. Voxy just runs into a sentry, and I guess it's okay. There's a minute and a half left before the round was timeout.
Opti's on last. Opti just jumps onto last, hiding out in the lobby there. No one can stop him in time.
The rocket! Oh, that is harsh. Coming out of Opti there. How does he do that?
Oh, what the config? I guess this is where our pause was.
Yep.
Okay.
So, apparently the engineer was AFK, but that rocket out of Opti just face planting the scout into the ceiling was so good. It allowed him to win the round, and suddenly it's 4-2 for Feint with only 3.5 minutes left. We are onto a mid fight. Kritzberg have been pretty favorable on the mid so far. Both teams just posturing up immediately. Opti is standing here on the low ground. He's going to want to bump forward, but look at Vanny. He's like 1 HP. Does get taken out. Bonkers does find that kill onto Vanny, onto Opti as well. Does finally get taken down. Rad gets kill onto Hugo, and that is just Yeehaw alive with Mac 45 HP on his own second, spamming choke point, looking for players that aren't there. Yeehaw gets spotted out in the enemy sewers right now. Look at Feint. Mac knows he just has to run all the way back into the last. Yeehaw, the last hope for his team, is going to have to do something.
Yeah, I mean, they could have easily just been stacking this point on mid here and waiting for Yeehaw and got it a lot earlier, but they are slowing things down unnecessarily, giving Feint the time that they need to run this clock down. They really need to be speeding up, and they were gifted pretty much the perfect mid-fight when you're 4-2 down. Stan bombing forwards, just trying to clear them out of second. Wandum helping him out. But Wandum will get taken down by a little sniper rocket from Opti, and they are going to speed up right now through rollout. Stan and Paparazzi taking this one forwards. The sentry gun is down immediately. Stan shooting this spawn door, trying to get that heavy down, but the Uber is out of Vanny in return now. They just took so long capping that mid and moving forwards. They were so scared of Yeehaw.
The return push. They come back in. There's no sticks on point. They can actually just 2 scouts. There's 1 scout is going down. The heavy's not on point. They get it.
Okay, if they can redo the mid that they just did, this is absolutely doable. There was 3 minutes 30 at the start of that last round. Now it's 4-3 with 1 minute 30 remaining. If they
this is very possible.
Wipe this mid-fight again, it's more than possible. We could be seeing a golden cap and some upset points already this early on in the season.
Yeah, so right now they're going to roll out mid. Stan is on the quickie bomb launcher. He wants to go forward. No time for setting up puny little traps. It actually does a lot of damage to Mac early on. This time around, seems like Vanny's faring a little bit better so far. That's a 1 bomb coming out of Wandum. Second one out of bunkers already, but it looks like Wandum this time gets taken down, but so does Vanny. He's dead as well, so right now Kritzberg, they have to regroup. Look at the health on
the health is
they're
so
all below
bad.
Like 50 right now. But they're delaying this a little bit. There we go. The scouts of the blue team are coming forward. They get 3 kills. Oh my god, Mac!
Mac
What was
finally getting
that?
his revenge on Stan for Highlander, but I mean, the point is in favor of Kritzberg. They
40
have
seconds.
the massive advantage. As soon as Stan respawns, we're going to be going into last. There's only 30 seconds, though. This needs to go really fast from Kritzberg if they want to have any chance. Mac is still down. No stickies on point for another 5 seconds.
They're going in. They have to go in, like, basically right now. And you have to remember as well that Stan is on Quickie Bomb. Stickies on point don't actually do that much. As right now, they are posturing. They're trying to go forward to it. Uber is popped out. There is a sentry gun up and a heavy on point. But look, there's nobody actually playing the point. Sentry gun is taken down. Soldier just standing on it as well. He's solo. There's 7 seconds. 4, 5, 3, and 2, 1. That's a heavy. He's a million HP. And they do get it. Bane, by the skin of their teeth. That was so close towards the end.
Yeah, the stickies were dead almost immediately from Mac, but then everyone on Kritzberg was just trying to cap the point, and you might think that's the right thing to do, but realistically, if you're all just trying to cap the point, your Uber's doing nothing, you're having to use the Uber to basically take -1 from your cap time. No one's going forwards to kind of take fire or stop them from shooting onto the point. Feint just can easily focus all 6 men onto it straight after that Uber's faded. So it was a noble effort from Kritzberg and a very, very close game, something that I think most people probably weren't expecting. It definitely could have been a choke from Feint for a second there.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm excited for map 2, I mean...
Yeah. Like, I was honestly, we're looking at the logs right now, and I'm honestly, like, the logs may not show it, but I think actually Wandum and Bonkers this game. I don't want to say bonkers, but they were pretty good. I felt like they were outperforming Hugo and Opti, getting a lot of bombs in, especially on mid. Vanny got called out pretty much every single time. It was really hard for him to play the game. But like, look at the deaths. They're actually fairly even onto Grabber and Vanny. 6 deaths each. Look at the damage. Look at Stan, and then you look at Mac. And there's about 1,000 damage difference there. It's pretty big.
You're gonna have to keep talking for longer. I'm trying to get the logs up quickly.
Okay, so look at it across further. We do see. I mean, Yeehor, nice little solid top frag there, 25 kills. I guess that's. I mean, honestly, it doesn't feel like that was that big of an impact. Like, I expected more out of Feint. I really think that Opti's a really good player, and I didn't quite see that. Maybe, I mean, Process isn't necessarily known for being the most soldier-favored map of all time. It's kind of the traditional, if you've, like, never really played competitive, you see the big sort of fancy Process soldier rollout, and you're, oh, Process, so soldier, so good, and it's just not.
Tag got that awesome clip in 2014, yeah. Like. But yeah, as you say, scouts are a lot better on this mid. I mean, it's all about having that high ground in the middle, and Feint were seeming to be controlling it most of the time, but still managing to let things, get out of their control. I mean, Kritzberg took a lot of those mid fights and had a lot of impact, even on the ones where they lost, as you were saying, getting onto Vanny quite a bit.
So, I mean, I think going into the next map, which will be Snakewater, I'm wondering if there's going to be that big of a difference, as the teams are figuring out that they want to change servers. They're going to be sorting that out in the background. We should be getting that sorted fairly soon as well. But in the meantime, does it change that much? We're going to Snakewater. I think, honestly, Snakewater and Process might actually function fairly similarly.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that most people point out about Snakewater, it's the one-dimensional mid. It doesn't have the options for left or right. There's no drop-down of the enemy teams that you can go up or whatever. It's pretty much your standard mid-fight of soldiers bombing forwards, everyone else controlling the high ground and or walking across the point. And that's pretty much how I think both of these teams were playing this mid. I mean, they were really both just waiting back towards their choke. No one really walking over either side until those bombs came out. So I think this should be just played roughly the same.
Yeah, probably. Snakewater is known being a little bit more stalematey, I think. Sort of just overall last is pretty difficult to push because it's so long. Second is also, it's such a long distance you have to travel. if you want to go from midpoint to second, that most of the time you compare it to something like Process, where we saw it in this last game, where you can win mid on Process decisively, and you could be knocking at the enemy last door and win the round in like a minute and a half. You can't do the same on Snakewater the same way. You can win mid, but because it's just such a physically long distance, the enemy team is going to be respawned by the time you are at their last. You're going to have to favor much more the Uber advantage. You know that you have time to set up someone, sort of wait for that first force, get that out earlier on. Makes it a little bit harder to roll across, makes it easier to sort of hold as well. But overall, I think it functions, as you're saying, fairly the same. Scout is still OP. It's true for literally every map in TF2, and it's just how it goes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Snakewater second being pretty much the most different in terms of points, as you're saying. Yep. The last point pretty much the same. They're both notoriously stalematey on Process and Snake, whereas second really lends itself towards just dry busting. You have so much ground on grass where you can pretty much play around and troll and bait soldiers to bomb into you and fall back. Things like this where you don't have to fully commit to going through one of 3 small doors, as is the case on Process. You've got basically just a series of chokes to go through. You can really try out some different stuff on Snakewater grass, and I'm not sure which team that will lend itself to, if I'm being honest. But that's one of the differences, so...
I'm really looking for the Soldiers of Fate to step up this map. I think they did get outperformed by Bunkers and Wanzu, and I don't think that necessarily that's the sort of caliber you'd expect coming out of Opti and Hugo. I think Opti especially has really good rockets, and I think Snakewater is a map that lends itself a little bit more to being able to just, like Opti has really good rockets, but he hits a lot of the consistent rockets, like, that aren't necessarily crazy air shots like Mathis, but it's more just like he'll hit like the 2 directs in your face every single time, and that's so important. And I think Snakewater lends itself to that a little bit more. Sort of the angles that you end up bombing into sort of allows you to go for a little bit different sort of rockets, where you're not just bombing into choke, where you shoot a medic with one rocket and he surfs across the entire mid, and you just have to hope you hit the cross-map skybox air shot that sometimes is required to sack into a medic on Process.
Yeah, we do have everybody in the server now, so hopefully we're gonna be...
I have some news. They can all hear me now. This is all my fault. You know, I recently made that big 100 legacy video thing, and you have to like get rid of Snakewater for a lot of them because Snakewater is bugged, and I forgot to like reinstate the normal version of Snakewater. So I am doing that now. I'm verifying the integrity of my game cache. So when I'm done doing that, we'll go live. So yeah, my bad.
Probably better that we don't all see the huge no draw blocks everywhere and etc. So
I thought that was a feature.
All right. So hashtag blame beta. But in the meantime, I guess we have predictions to discuss. After seeing that first map, your 5-0 was thrown out quite quickly. What do you think about this one? Do you think you want to revise that now? Do you think Feint are going to get their heads back in the game?
I mean, okay, so there's a world, we can't really know it for sure, right, where Feint just didn't play Process and they forgot to practice their mids, and I think that was what was going wrong a lot of the time. Lavani getting caught out of those mids, giving Kritzberg advantages that can't necessarily or shouldn't necessarily be the case on a map like Snakewater. It is still like you are pretty exposed on this map if soldiers actually do decide to bomb across, but maybe they've just practiced it more. I don't know, but it feels like a little bit of an anecdote to go across at this point. I think we should expect this to be close. It's probably going to be low scoring again, probably like another 3-2. Maybe. I think Feint still probably going to win. I think overall, fundamentally, just better players have a better understanding overall of how the game works. Just more experience overall. I think that's ultimately what ended up netting victory. But this time, I think it's going to be close, Bumfries.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Kritzberg get some points. I would really love to. It would be a great upset in week 1. We've already had a close match. Maybe Feint weren't expecting it to be close at all, and now their mental's a bit suffering, you know, on tilt, ready to just completely throw away the second map. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see. I'd like to believe in Kritzberg, so I'm going to predict a 3-2 victory for them.
Oh, exciting. So, I mean, luckily for Peter, absolutely nothing has happened. We have 12 players in the server and they're not starting. Maybe
I
that's
guess
because
they've been told to wait.
Oh, okay. All right. Apparently, we have been informed that they are going live and that we told them to wait for us, which is oh well.
Very polite
You know,
of them.
sometimes we get to talk to the players. Sometimes it just kind of happens, and you go along with the ride. So we should be going live shortly as players still warming up. Grabber's sniping. I really hope that's not actually going to happen in the game. Do you
I hope it
realize
is.
how
I want
old
to see
they are?
Grabber drop Vanny off sniper, and then Kritzberg 5-0, and then I apply for Polish citizenship.
Same. Have you been to Poland before?
I never have actually, no.
Oh, it's so
Have you?
cheap. That's my memory of Poland. It's going to Krakow and finding vodka for like the cheapest I've ever seen, being like, there's no way this is healthy. And it's not, turns out, vodka. A little bit bad for you, but it was a fun night. So we are live this time around. This is, of course, ETF2L Season 37 Premiership Week 1 between Feint Gaming and Kritzberg. Feint Gaming, spoiler alert, did come out on top of the last map in process. Look at Stan actually bullying Mac early on onto this first mid-fight of the game. That bomb comes across out of Opti so early on. Wandum is back on Vanny. They get him! Pretty much the only kill that they are going to find. Bonkers is in the air. He's going to land on point. Find absolutely nothing, but they get the medic. I think that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean, first crucial frag there was Mac just being absolutely bullied by Stan and basically just saying, go fast, go fast. Stan is walking across the point on me. And I mean, it's just a free frag for him there. Opti hiding on last will elect to jump out. But yeah, Stan was getting so cocky over the point, trying to just destroy Mac there, and just gets immediately landed on by Hugo as punishment for his sins. Obviously, though, both medics going down, we will see our favourite ever stalemate on Snakewater last here. Wanzu gonna try out the spy again, see if he can be more successful this time.
Opti just pulled out the escape plan there, tried to get the kill onto Stan. There we go, they actually get it. That's a kill onto the Demo Man. That's actually really big. Ubers are even, but a kill onto a Demo Man like that should prompt a sack. There is a sentry up, and that pretty much, I mean, if you're a soldier, you try to sack into a sentry. It feels so bad. All right, there we go. So the sentry's taken down by Hugo. Opti does, however, trade with the soldier. They're actually walking in here onto the left side. Hugo's in. Bonker's dead already. They're just going to stand on the point. Where's Kritzberg?
They're in spawn. They're in spawn, London. I mean, great play just taking all of that truck side for free by Mac. And then Bonkers, I don't know what his plan was. He tried to walk into lobby, took a 1v1 and lost it. And from there, he was pretty much the only player that wasn't in spawn, and he was just feeding away in lobby. So Feint taking that first round for free after forcing everyone in spawn there. We'll see how this second mid-fight pans out.
Yeah, so Stan definitely playing a little bit passive, more passive this time around after getting completely destroyed by the soldiers here. It's like Opti is just reloading, Hugo posturing as well. They're waiting to bomb forwards. They're waiting for some sort of signal, sort of bat signal in the air, sort of waving. We're going, woo! Bomb now! And they don't. Because there's a soldier in their own kitchen. Opti, nice little shot. Bunker does get a nice little return frag onto Yeehor right now. There we go. That's going to prompt the soldiers to jump across. Opti does take an air shot. They're walking forwards now. However, Rad gets taken down. Sam does get killed onto Mac here. Hugo bombing across now on top as well. And that should be just one soldier left for Kritzberg on mid. They're going to try to walk forwards. I don't know if they can do this, however. There's so much control of the high ground. Boxy doesn't even go down. The Ubers pop forwards. Out of grabber. The Ubers traded as well. Demo Man 80 HP on the bridge. Ubers are traded. They're just going to leave onto second. That's actually bombed. Oh no, doesn't matter. Whatever.
But now they have to fight on two fronts, and Opti just standing on that health pick behind them does get the pick onto Grabber, sorry. Fake nicking as Wonder, and will jump out with his life. So Vanny's going to secure a little advantage here. I feel like after Kritzberg killed Mac there, I think Stan was just reloading, holding S a bit too much, and then they were too late to capitalize. But now Feint have split up. Both of their players on the flank get rolled there. Opti and Yeehor immediately going down to Wanzu and Rad. And now Rad in onto mid. Two shots onto Vanny. Hits the third, but not quite enough damage overall to take him down.
Stan's getting a little bit aggressive here into Saw. Tries to peek it out, see if you can find a funny pipe onto Vanny, but Vanny was just out of there, getting a pack. So right now, Fate is just positioning. They know they have ad. They're going to want to move this grass. They start it early, which this is pretty much what you expect. You can see that Kritzberg are playing this pretty passively. As of right now, Fate are taking this. They know Kritzberg. They can just kind of maybe try to spam them out a little bit. Wanzu does get taken down, but honestly, they're 80% already. They'd have a sniper. Just sit this for a little while longer. Fate are going to have to go right now if they want to push off this ad.
They do. Straight in through lower. The Uber is used. Mac jumps up onto the truck on the left side. Will take out Sam. But now the Uber is out in return from Grabber.
Oh!
Drops Rad from the Uber. Oh no, the cap is free. Feint just take it before anyone manages to get on the point, respawning. And that's 2-0 for Feint Gaming.
I'm watching crimes being committed right now. That shouldn't happen. It's one of those, but I don't think that push should work. Something just fell in the kitchen and it made a lot of noise. So I don't know, man. That took me out of everything.
No one's in kitchen yet. The mid-fight's just started.
In my kitchen.
Alright, Opti bombing in straight away. Does find an air shot onto Stan, taking him down immediately. Both soldiers down in return onto Feint, though. Grabber very, very low. Just manages to dodge a sticky from Mac there. And Vanny gets a bit too big for his boots. Taken down by Bonkers. Stood on that small hut there. Yeehaw now sniffing out Grabber. He smells blood. As Mac has to retreat there with low health. Yeehaw now does get the shots in to take down Grabber. And they clutch up as Mac hits that Iron Bomber. And does the Thriller on point.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. When's it Halloween? It's like in a week, right? It's
I don't know. We won't be able
it's
to
like the
celebrate
30th.
it anyway, so...
Yeah, we don't do it in Denmark either, you know, so it's just kind of, it's a thing for everyone that besides me, I think. So they are setting up Kritzberg. They're at a 50% disadvantage. Look at Wanzu right now. Shot a bomb through with 100 HP. Please hit that rocket. It doesn't. Okay, never mind.
And Bonkers just literally jumped around on second about 5 times. Opti followed him for all of those bombs and then cratered. Wanzu now trying to take down the other soldier of Hugo, who's trying to do some damage up onto these players on balcony.
The health is really bad here, actually. Look at Rad. He's taken down solo. Stan was pretty low as well, but it's just a soldier here doing all the frontlining work, and that's just going to allow for an easy bomb coming out of one of the soldiers there.
Yeah,
does get taken down.
there in behind gets the force.
Yeah.
And now they want to get these 2 soldiers to sack in. Hugo just jumps onto the point. Vox is actually trying to play it too. This is more of a dry push than a sack, in fact, because they do not have the Uber yet on the side of Kritzberg. Grabber with the nice serve to stay alive. Will need to resupply though.
They got Vanny there as well. Opti tried to do the pencil jump of doom off the top hut there, just into the enemy, and it didn't quite work out. Didn't ultimately manage to hit the second rocket onto Grabber. They managed to find a return kill onto Yeehaw and Vanny as well. So now Hugo, he's going to bomb in. Grabber does have Uber, but he only hits 50 damage right there. Grabber full 100%.
And Stan just disrespects Mac also, bombing straight forward onto grass and 2-piping him with the cheeky 1-2.
As they are setting up at Saw right now. I mean, they can't really fight this. Yeehaw is on the snippety snap. I don't think he could do anything here. He's sitting on balcony. He's just going to try to shoot something here. A little bit of fish in a barrel, but they are 80% now. They are building. So it feels like, honestly, Fate, they could just stand here. Never mind! Because Grabber's just he's just gonna eat lead, and he's gonna die. And now, Vanny has 100%.
The one body shot is all you need. Bonkers now straight in. Does get that first rocket on Vanny. Vanny uses, actually, in Africa. Rad has managed to sneak behind this Uber, but he's getting chased down by Voxy, who will win the 1v1 eventually. And now it's only 2 players up on mid. Stan has a little sticky trap that probably won't do much.
Yeah, that was a weird. They kind of sacked in for the force and reverse. They did get it. They are going to spawn again. The Ubers will be even, but they're going to have to not lose their Demo Man in Saw like that. Opti gets a nice little clean kill onto the enemy Demo Man, and that's going to mean that it's going to be really hard for Kritzberg to actually hold this against Feint. We're just going to walk forward here into second so far. Their soldiers are bombing across right now, but I don't think they're doing enough damage. Wanzu so low. The only person really on the enemy team taking damage is Hugo, but it looks like maybe they've managed to route the spam before now. Stan is back up, but that soldier aggression is in onto balcony right now. They do get killed onto Wandu. onto Bunkers. Actually, Opti goes down. So do Yeehaw. They try to go in for that medic kill. Grabber eating spam, 60 HP.
Wandum
They don't quite
behind.
get it.
He's behind Vanny. He gets the force for free there. And now this is looking a lot better for Kritzberg if they can just get out to last. Stan is very low, just trying to trap up and get out. He'll survive. But that was such an incredibly long fight. As you say, both teams were just continually kind of taking the high ground and spamming each other into being low and just kind of backing up, then re-healing, coming back in and backing up. But now eventually we do have Rad dying to the sticky trap as they try to push out here. It's still a 50% advantage. Wanzu does bomb through. He'll also go down. There's 2 kills before the Uber's even popped behind from Kritzberg.
There are actually people pushing cheese right now. The Uber's forced out. Look at this. Rad is taken down. So is Sam. Fate have just completely routed this around. There's only 3 players up. Rad is on Sniper right now, which I don't know, man. This is not the time. Mac goes down. Rad gets absolutely obliterated by Opti here as well. Good thing the cameraman is BJ. He's going to be taking notes, I assume. There we go. That's another round for Fate. And this, I guess, this is sort of a repeat of what we saw already, with Feint just kind of in 10 minutes being up 3 rounds. So hopefully Kritzberg, they can return it. It is 20 minutes. They do have plenty of time to turn it around. We almost saw it happen earlier. And they might be able to do it again.
Opti here, delicious little air shot on second.
Yeah,
I was happy about that. But yeah, Stan, once again getting to mid first, doesn't hit damage onto Mac this time, and Opti goes in straight away to try and punish him. Does not work out. Hugo following up on the 0 damage that Opti did. He will be forced out as well, and they just leave the mid fight. They know as soon as that second bomb has also failed, there's nothing they can do. Hugo also just getting caught by a few rockets here. Wanzu's going to try and follow it up. Does get a lot of damage onto Mac, but no deaths. And I mean, that's all the damage that matters, is if they die realistically.
Oh no. Did you see Hugo there? He was standing on top. Mac is actually dead as well. Hugo's standing there waiting for an arrow from his own medic. Got the arrow from the opposing medic. Fortunately, Grabber kills Hugo instead of healing him. Which right now, Feint are so low. Look at Vanny. He's 30 HP. Doesn't really have any friends either. There are only 3 up so right now. It'd be kind of difficult to hold this. There's Soldier bombing across. The Uber is popped out on one side. Grabber's dead.
Oh my god! They didn't even need to pop. Grabber just puts his team onto the cap. And, I mean, the defending Uber was so desperate to get him that they just forgot what the real objective in this game is. And, I mean, where have we seen this before? 3-0 in 10 minutes and then an immediate round from Kritzberg? I'd hate to pledge allegiance to Poland too early, but...
I'm about to, cast away the blinds and look up the stars again, see if they're telling me anything. That right now, Kritzberg very much still in this now. It's 18 minutes left. They're only 2 rounds down. This is possible now. Hugo trades with Bunkers up on top as spam just coming across of Stan. He's not doing that much damage, but the soldier bombs are coming in. Wanzu taken down immediately as Mac is taken down by Sam. There's a soldier in onto the medic. Grabber 70 HP. Looks like he should be getting cleaned up right now. It's just Voxy and Vanny left on point versus 4 players. Both scouts up on the enemy team. They are just going to cap. Hugo right now is respawning. Maybe they want to go refight this?
I'm not sure how that fight went that way, and I'm not sure Mac understands either. He puts a WTF in chat, because, I mean, it looked perfect. After that trade happened, Wanzu failed his bomb, and Opti did successfully get behind. But now the trade is on second here. Grabber using his Uber on literally nobody, and then running out the opposite exit. His entire team, surely he dies here. The surf gets him out to mid. Oh, Grabber, he's going to get chased down still, though. Yeehaw running in to see if he can collect anything. Mac bombing forwards, but no, Grabber survives against all odds. But Feints do get mid at least, and a 2-player advantage still rolling into second here.
Hugo's actually trying to do a little bit of spawn cap, but Mac ends up getting taken down. So does Hugo. They do get 1 kill onto Wanzu, but look at how forward Kritzberg are going. They get another kill onto Voxy. Right now, Yeehaw.
Dude, everyone just left Grabber. They went so deep and left Grabber all alone.
Oh
Thankfully,
my god.
Sam respawns in time to help him out.
Grabber, he's gonna have to find a leash again, because I feel like they're kind of unhinged. Getting a little bit excited. Stan's whining in chat about being baited. I'm pretty sure he's doing that to himself. That's a really nice rocket out of Opti. Actually catches out the medic mid-air. Grabber caught between a rock and a hard place right now. Wandum does return the favor onto Vanny. Doesn't quite get the follow-up rocket onto the scout. Stan tries to spam out 5 members on the enemy team, but
Opti is just on fire this map so far. Yeehaw running into last will get taken down. Mac is trying to sticky the point here. Voxy just needs to play the cap. He has very low HP though, and the scouts will stop him. Now Grabber respawning on Pyro instead of Medic here. It won't actually matter that he wasn't on Medic because Vanny has no one to heal either. So we are exactly even on Ubers as both teams get their healing started at the same time.
Yeah, that was, I mean, of all the times you can go Pyro, normally you associate it with the Jorge Tilt Pyro, which is a special place to be in your life. It's right now, Kritzberg, they're trying to push this out, but look at the bombs out of Hugo and Opti. They just forced Grabber out immediately. He was not in a good position to sort of deal with that at all. Right now, with an enemy medic dead for Feint, they do get a kill onto Wandum. There we go, onto Bunkers as well. Hugo does get taken down. So does Voxtech, but maybe it doesn't matter because Sam is all the way on last, and Stan is trying to shoot things. He doesn't find anything.
Yeah, they get a lot of kills, but not the only kill they needed. I mean, they just wanted Vanny there, and they didn't get it. Now full Uber into Snakewater last. Not going to be too difficult for Feint. There's 15 minutes left on this game, and if it goes to 4-1, it's going to be very difficult for Kritzberg to get back in. So Vanny walking towards the shutter here with Mac and Voxy. Pops the Uber out straight away. Sentry and Heavy on the side of Kritzberg. Neither of them going down for this entire Uber. The level 1 Sentry finally goes down. Wandum, the first human casualty of the fight, as now Opti starts tickling the point and the rest of the players just bombing forwards.
That paint trade gets so much cap and they get the round. That was really nice out of Feint there.
Yeah, I mean, the Uber not perfect to begin with, but they don't need it. They just play the point, and then as everyone gets baited towards it, they can collapse onto all the enemy players trying to block point, all bundled up in the same location. Plenty of damage, and the round for Feint. Starting to look a bit more comfortable on this map than they were on Process. Opti rolling out into his own team's kitchen this time. He's noticed Bonkers has gone here a few times before. Maybe he can catch him out, but it doesn't look like Bonkers will be making the same play again. He's staying unpredictable. Voxy actually, first death. As Stan tries walking over the point alone, he'll get taken down.
Yeah, that bomb... Bonkers and Wandum, man, they've been so good at catching out Vanny every single time. It's actually the HP, because of that, on Feint is just so much less than Kritzberg on these mids. And I think it's the only thing that's really keeping them in this so far, making it as close as it is, because it feels like on the rest of the map, they are just kind of getting... What do you know? Like I don't want to say... My League of Legends brain says out macroed, but that's not a thing in TF2. They're just kind of getting out gameplayed, you know? Like Feint is just kind of smarter about moving around the map. It feels like Wandum is trying to make space here by jumping into like 5 people. They'll kind of walk back. They do have a massive ad here.
They are so scared. They're very, very slow to get into second. Just basically letting Wandum 1v6 before anyone else shows their face. But they still have the Uber charge. They are walking towards Shutter now.
But Yeehaw gets him with the sniper. Grabber taking out immediately. That's a Demo Man dead as well. And that push is just immediately called off of the poles. They're in full damage control mode. There's a soldier Bunkers. Maybe that's Wandum. Actually, that's Wandum. He has different hats. He tries to go for a funky little play. Sitting on the spot. You always sit on the balcony. As he doesn't manage to find anything other than Max Fist. Stan and Grabber both alive once again, but I'm not sure they should be able to do anything. Vanny 100% ad hit. That was, Yeehaw kind of pulled it out of the bag for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand this Stan walking Uber theory. There is no reason to not be immediately popping and jumping through that shutter door. I mean, walking forwards through it, what do you get by not using that 1 second of Uber when you can use that 1 second of Uber to jump and get more ground than you would walking for a whole 7 seconds? Wandum does not get anything with his bomb. Hugo now getting rid of all the other players remaining on second with that bomb forwards. I mean, There is just no reason to go through that shutter as medic without using.
Yeah, the
And
Uber's
now-
actually popped out on lower right now. They're so far forward to grab it, taken down immediately off of this Uber. That gives them such a HP advantage already. They're all gathered around the point. Rad is the first one to fall. Wanzu dead as well. Opti does get taken down, but Sam in return. Stan once again. Why do they always die or get kills next to each other? It makes it so hard to say both their names. So that's another round for Fate. It's 5-1 now. A lot better than Process.
Yeah, I think this is all but locked in. I mean, Grabber has been dropped twice by Yeehaw. That second one in particular was absolutely absurd and just should not be happening.
Yeah.
There is 10 minutes left. Kritzberg need to get all these rounds very quickly to hope to come out on top on this map, so we do need to see them win this mid-fight decisively, and the start of that is Bonkers trying to bomb forwards. He gets onto the high ground, but Yeehaw will bat him back. Wanzu now with the skip jump straight onto Vanny. Vanny surfs away up onto the top of balcony. In the meantime, Hugo is bombing forwards, just trying to get onto Grabber in return.
Grabber? Oh, okay. So Grabber does get taken down here. Yeehaw's actually still alive somehow. Gets a kill into Grabber. He's going to kill Wanzu walking around with his escape plan. That's actually, this might, I hate to say it, this might be doable for Yeehaw. He's managed to get third. He's on 4 kills now. Doesn't quite get Sam.
Yeehaw had 5 doms and then he goes down to 3 after that death. What a loser.
Yeehaw must be dealing with some back problems right now. Maybe that is.
Yeah, I mean Yeehaw 80 points. We'll have to look at the logs at the end to see if they're all just caps or not. But he is miles above both medics on the server, who are usually who you see at the top of the scoreboards in Sixers games.
Yeah, for context, Vanny's only at 60 points, so Yeehaw is just like tearing the enemy a new one right now. Opti does get taken down. Hugo and Yeehaw do combined to get a kill onto Bunkers right now. Stan in onto the point. He's standing really far forward and nobody else quite with him. Grabber gets taken down because Wanzu's on Sniper, and Snipers don't deal well with close quarters defending. Boxy gets another kill on to Wanzu. And it's 3 up for the Poles. Sam taken down as well, however. It's only 2 alive. Rad is fighting Opti on second, but he hits a crazy little rocket. So now Rad is 30 HP. Opti's only going for the funny rockets. Doesn't quite kill him. He was popped on second here. Bonkers gets the force, I guess.
Well, it's better than nothing, and they're capping up second now. So they won't have an Uber charge for pushing into last on the side of Feint Gaming, but unless Kritzberg immediately try and dry push out of last, I think this is a sold game. There's 3 players going back for Rad on mid now. Rad should be immediately saying this, and Kritzberg should just be taking a 5v3 on second, but that's not happening either. I don't think they'll be given a much better opportunity to get out of last than this. Once both teams have Uber, they are pretty much just thoroughly pinned down on last and have no chance of getting out. Mac is just doing the thriller on the hut on second, trying to troll them.
Oh, but you have to look at the timer here and say that it's roughly 2 rounds, or two minutes per round. They have to get 4 rounds in order to sort of get this to a golden cap. They're going to basically have to start pushing right now if they really want to stay in this at all. There is a sniper up.
They had to start pushing, 30 seconds ago when they had the 5v3 opportunity, but Rad is now jump scaring people as Putis jumps off that fence there. Wanzu will help him get 1 kill onto Opti, and everyone else will retreat through lower, but I mean, unless you plan on pushing from that 1-player advantage, there was no point in any of this because there is 7 minutes 30, Kritzberg. You have to speed up right now if you want any points from this fixture. And Opti has already respawned. They're going in through lower while everyone's in lobby. This could be a free 6th round. They use the Ubers on point as gets traded out from both teams. Stan desperately trying to replace his stickies. Opti dying to the heavy once again. Vanny does get taken down in lower.
Wanzu's still sniping. Why? Okay. So I think maybe this... They end up holding it because they managed to get a couple clean kills. They get Opti immediately. Yeehaw just doesn't lose 1v1s. Like don't test him right now. Stan did disconnect from the server. I think he is rejoining. But Vanny goes down. So Grabber, yes, does have ad, but it's not that big. It's about 30%. And as you were saying, they had to start pushing at this point 1 minute and 30 seconds ago. So at this point, they're just trying to kind of, I guess, stem the bleeding.
Yeah, them killing Vanny there is great and all, but they just fed so many players afterwards. As you say, they couldn't heal to get any sort of decent advantage. If they had just stayed together after the Vanny pick, it would have been a very easy push out. But now, in fact, Vanny has come up on Kritzberg to try and get at least, one defensive sticky off to try and drop Grabber for the third time this map. We'll see if that comes to anything, as it looks like Grabber's getting ready to go through under. Are they just waiting it out for another rotation? They've officially lost all the points they could have got at this point. We are in trash time. Yeehor takes down a heavy there. The crits are used onto Opti. Grabber does pop out to not get another drop on his logs. Bonkers chasing forwards into second.
Oh. Yeah, Mac just finds nice 2 little clean kills with his sticky traps right there. Stan takes a lot of damage as well. That is a very fast soldier in onto the medic. Grabber taken down by Hugo. Opti finds a kill onto Stan. There we go. It's just Rad left alive. And it looks like second map for Fate Gaming. It's going to be a nice, comfortable 6-1 victory, as that should secure all 6 points for them in this first week. Kritzberg, they put up more of a fight than I think we would have expected them to coming into it, especially on process. But I think it honestly seemed like they just kind of mentally checked out after a while on Snakewater.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, throughout all of Snakewater, I thought it was both teams letting themselves lose rather than it was either team being better than the other. I mean, there was even times where Feint would make some horrible mistake, end up getting punished very hard for it, but then Kritzberg would just throw even harder in return. And I mean, overall, Kritzberg just made one too many huge blunders in this second map here, so they couldn't even get a chance to make it close to Feint as they did in the first map. And Feint have got to be happy. They've dodged a bullet. I know that Mac feared Stan after what happened in Highlander, but he does manage to eventually get all 6 points from the official, which they'll be pleased with. They come into the season, they're looking to be a top 2 or 3 team. Obviously under Ascent, the clear favourites, but yeah, I mean that's the way to start your season. You can't have any worse than that if you want to end up in that top 3.
Yeah, especially in a season like this, where it seems like there is a clear dichotomy between the 2 top between the 3 or 4 top teams with actual Prem player experience that's compared to like the bottom of Prem. I think we should take a look at some logs. And as you were saying, Yeehor's logs, 34 for 8 is not a bad stat. He essentially went like 3 for 1 the entire game. This is it went more than 3 for 1. I can't do math, but you get me. It's on the page, but I'm just looking at the stream. It doesn't have it. I'm just he did a lot. I mean, okay,
and 130 damage taken a minute, so just absolutely avoiding all damage. Probably why he's winning out on those 1v1s so easily, as you were saying. 34 kills, a lot. I mean, we always say 34 kills. Well, he's just a scout, but we are playing with the anti-scout plugins, so to speak, and he's still running rampant on the server here.
I think really that might actually be the difference maker. I don't think he was as big on process, even though we do both consider process. I think generally process is just considered to be a more scout-centric map. Maybe he just takes a little while to warm up. He plays like 4 hours of DM a day. Maybe he's only good for the last 2. And it takes a little while to warm up. Finally there, definitely put on a clinic against the Poles this time around, however. Look at the medic stats. Actually, Vanny, he popped twice as many Ubers as Grabber plus Wanda, which I think is just Grabber.
Twice as many Ubers, and Grabber having 2 drops that could have been crucial. I mean, one of them being a full ad push into last, obviously, just inexcusable blunder, and then dropping to that sniper as he was walking into second. Could have just baited that door a second longer and got into second for free, and then maintained that advantage for the last. I mean, that's potentially 2 extra rounds just from those deaths alone.
Yeah, I think also I don't even think that Vanny had a particularly good series or a particularly good night tonight. He got caught out it felt like every single mid, and maybe it wasn't technically every single mid, but it was at least 80% of mids. He was dead by the end of it. I think if you're faint, that's probably something you're going to look at coming into the following weeks, trying to sort of tighten up your game. As this is a little bit of a longer race, Bumfries. It's a little bit of a marathon. You're not expected to be good immediately. We do this time around have a cup in the middle of the season randomly, but you're going to need some wrap-up time, especially for this roster, which, I mean, I know that players have played together before, but it's going to take a little while for everything to kind of come together for them. And I think getting 6 points is pretty much all you can ask for, realistically. Sure, you probably could have wanted the process to be a little bit more clean. Maybe the blood pressure could be a little bit lower, but, overall, I think it's solid.
Yeah, absolutely. Brand new team, and 6 points is pretty much the only way to start the season. You can't do better than that amount of points, no matter how hairy your first map gets, of course. So, yeah, Faint looking not dominant, but setting themselves up well for the rest of the season at least.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be interesting sort of going along for the rest of it. But do you have anything more? I don't think we're going to do interviews this time around.
No one's here ready to be asked questions, so I've not got anything else to say.
I don't either. Eat your vegetables.
We can plug water. The Essentials Cup. You mentioned it just quickly.
We can, yeah.
We do, of course, have the iSeries Replacement Cup coming up just around the corner. Middle of November, I believe, 14th and 15th, ? Sounds right, that's a weekend. So, yeah, around those dates, look out for that cup coming up to replace the iSeries event we unfortunately couldn't have this year. And it'll be good, kind of a mid-season cup, getting us some extra games in to see who's going to be the most dominant, how people stack up towards, at the halfway point of the season, getting towards playoffs.
Cups it's a different format that we don't really get a lot of in TF2. We sort of normally only get them at LAN, so watching teams actually play best of threes against each other and stuff, it's not something that happens to a lot of teams, and you don't really I remember sort of talking to people about picks and bans, coming from listening to a lot of people talk about picks and bans in CS, sort of the different way people look at it in TF2, because we just don't do it that often. Rarely, if ever, unless you're a playoff team, you just don't get to do it. So I think it's exciting. It's a different format. It's a different way of playing the game. You're playing a lot more in shorter bursts compared to normally. So it should be exciting. Be there, be square, I think is the correct terminology for that. But I think we should probably wrap it up at this point. So no more shout-outs besides that. As I said earlier, drink water, eat your veggies. I've been Wandum. Bum has been Bumfries. He's not allowed to be called that in the Twitch title. And Beta has been here as well. Goodbye.